Okay, so I'm just starting the laptop booting from a live image. You won't see anything for a while until it's partway through booting, just purely because of the HDMI output doesn't get activated till late into the boot. In fact, while I've just been changing screens, the internet's gone down, so I'm hoping that I can carry on as I am until it comes up again, until I need it. So yeah, here's the screen booting the live Gentoo image, just as I did before in the Linux From Scratch 12.3 videos. I'll just do the same thing to set it up as I did before, so that it can enter the true environment. So it's just asking me what screens to output to, so I'll just check that one and set the keyboards up. Okay, that should be good enough. Get rid of that and that. So I'll start with the terminal. And just resize that somewhat. And if you remember, I said before, it's generally best to keep the width of the terminal to more than 80 characters, just so that, well, the kernel especially complains, but could be other issues, and it's generally a recognised standard. So let's just put that there. Right, yeah, so the internet's still down, as you can see. So what I'm going to do then is, well, in fact, I don't need this moment. What first thing I've actually got to do is to create some space on the disk to install Linux from scratch. So best way to do that is to run gparted. Just search that here and select that. I'll just make this a bit bigger. So that's the disk layout, as you can see, from Linux from scratch 12.3. If you followed those videos, I created a boot partition which was 256 megabytes, a swap partition of 1 gigabyte, and the rest of the disk, which is about 230 odd, 240 gigabytes, is the root partition of the LFS 12.3 system. So what we need to do is to resize this partition. So if we right click that and resize, and this is to allow us to make space for a new partition. So you can just move this slider till something appropriate, or you can put the number in of the size of the partition. I'm going to make this 32 gigabytes. Click off that box and it will adjust everything else. Resize that. Then, because this is an MBR partition, if you, which one is it? Information, is it? That's partition information. Thought you could view the yeah, perhaps you can't. I thought you could view the current partition layout from here. Looks like maybe you can't. Okay, not to worry, but I know that it's an MBR, so if I created another primary partition here, there wouldn't be any room for any further partitions. So what I'm going to do is to create a new extended partition, which is like a container. I'll use the audio available space, add that. You can see the container's got this blue color and it's bordered, so it indicates it is a container ready to take other objects inside it. and you can see there the blue, and it's called an extended partition. So now either click on this line down here or here and create a new partition. This time it's called a logical partition, and I'm going to take the whole of the disk. Obviously if I find that's too much and I need space for another partition in the future, I can just go through these operations again to resize that one. Optionally I can format it, so I'll accept that. Click add. Now it hasn't done anything yet, it's just retained the operations I want to perform in memory, so nothing will happen until I click that button there, and I'll just check that I want to do that. Yes, and you can click details here to see what it's doing. You can see it's already shrunk the main partition, it's created the extended, now it's probably formatting. Oh, it's already done. Yeah, it's formatted the new file system. On a mechanical disk, the resizing of or the shrinking of the existing system will probably take some time, depending on the size and the amount of data on there. It could take, upwards of an hour or more. But as this was only 8 or 9 gigabytes existing data on that partition, as you can see, it didn't take long at all on an SSD. So that'll refresh. So that's our new layout. We've got an extended partition called SDA4. We don't need to worry about that now. What we do need to make a note of is SDA5, which is going to be our new root partition for the Multilib LFS, so that's important to remember. So what I need to do now is to get rid of that. If I become root here and do fdisk-l/dev/sda and spell it correctly, you can see the layout there. There's that partition we've just created, and that's the container, the extended partition, and that's the existing operating system we'll be using as a host to build Multilib MLFS.